The Meghalaya Cabinet on Tuesday approved a slew of key decisions aimed at strengthening rural development governance, public service recruitment and financial regulation. The Cabinet approved the adoption of Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin VGGRAMG, replacing MGNREGS with an enhanced framework that increases guaranteed employment from 100 to 125 days and expands the range of permissible rural development works. Meghalaya has been allocated Rs 1,100 crore under the scheme for the next 9 months. It also cleared the regularization of 38 ad hoc government employees appointed on or before December 31st, 2007 in line with the Supreme Court's one-time regularization framework. The Cabinet further approved the deletion of Regulation 3F from the Meghalaya Public Service Commission Limitation of Functions Regulations 1972, a move aimed at ensuring a more transparent and merit-based recruitment process. Other decisions included the creation of 4 special secretary posts under the Meghalaya Civil Service Rules 1975 to improve career progression, approval of the Meghalaya Money Lenders and Accredited Loan Providers Bill 2026, promotion of A. Sangma as Legal Remembrancer and Secretary Law Department, and the notification of the Meghalaya Banning of Unregulated Deposit Schemes BUDS Rules 2026 to strengthen safeguards against fraudulent deposit schemes.
Item that we took up was the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin Act 2005. As you're aware that this is the new act in place of the MGNREG Act, and this has been enhanced now, and provisions like from minimum working days of 100 to increasing them to 125 days. This has been taken up in the new act, and other aspects of increasing the overall scope of work, where earlier projects like roads and connectivity were not given priority. They are now given priority. Earlier Anganwadi centers, they were not allowed to be built under the MGNREGS scheme, but under this new Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin, you're allowed to build Anganwadi centers also. Similarly, schools were not allowed to be built in the earlier MGNREGS, but in the new guidelines, they have increased the number of projects. So now school buildings are allowed. Different programs for livelihood, which were not allowed in the beginning. Today, specific livelihood programs can also be taken up. Different programs related to environment, water conservation, forest conservation, all of these programs can now be taken up. So there were earlier about 240 or 250 items you could take up. Now those items have gone up to 300 plus, almost 320 items have been included in the new act, and hence this had to be adopted and passed by the Cabinet, which we have done today. Apart from that, the Government of India has sanctioned 1,100 crores as the normative allotment for Meghalaya for the next 9 months, because the implementation of this project will start tomorrow, of this new act. So from 1st of July till 31st of March, this will be implemented by Meghalaya. For the first quarter, from April, May to June, the old MGNREGS scheme was being implemented with the old guidelines and the old act. But from tomorrow, the new guidelines and the new act will be applicable. And for this period of 9 months, from July to March 31st, the normative allotment given to Meghalaya is 1,100 crores. What is critical to know in this particular scheme is that the 1,100 crores is the normative allotment, and if the normative allotment goes beyond beyond the normative allotment, so suppose we end up spending 1,200 crores, so instead of 100 crores, the 1,100 crores is going to be shared as at 90-10 ratio, where 90% is paid by central government and 10% is paid by the state government. But when it comes to going beyond the normative allotment, the states will have to bear the full amount of the additional amount that you spend. So if you end up spending 1,200 crores, then that 100 crores will fall completely on the state governments. No government, there's nobody who has surplus. I'll be very blunt. If you have surplus, that means that you're not utilizing your money in a proper manner. But yes, being self-sufficient is a good thing. Being able to ensure that you're able to pay your revenue expenditure, which is the salaries and other non-capital expenditure on time, is important. And KHADC in the last many decades has been run much more professionally. I keep repeating this, that even today, KHADC plus minus, I don't know the exact number right now, is below 1,000 employees, maybe about 800 employees or something they have. I think even 700 if I'm not wrong. But Garo Hills, when we started this process, had 2,400 employees. Today, by ensuring that no new appointments are made, they're down to 1,400. Still double of what KHADC has. So their salaries are double of KHADC. Their revenues are maybe lesser than KHADC. Similarly, Jayantri Hills also has about 1,200 or 1,300 employees. Again, far more than what KHADC has. So somewhere I think there's an issue of streamlining things and managing things. And somewhere, as I said, KHADC in the last many decades has been able to professionally ensure that the administrative part has been done well. As I said, if you look at through the years, KHADC's employer strength has been well below 1,000, very much under control. And no EC that has come in has just randomly appointed people, and which are sometimes difficult decisions to make, but in the administrative context are the right decisions to make. So, yeah, so they've managed their administration for the last many decades in a much more better manner. The police department, the IT department, the urban affairs department, the municipal, and different departments are working together, and the ICCC has been very helpful for almost all the departments that are working in the ICCC. But our objective is to see that how we can further improve the functioning of the ICCC and make it even more productive. As you're aware, I was in Hyderabad a couple of days back, and I had visited the ICCC there, and I was quite impressed to see the kind of setup that they have, and more importantly, the kind of system that they've created to ensure that the utility of the ICCC is at the highest level. So whether it is connection and coordination between the drones that they have and connecting those drones to the ICCC feed, whether it is the different microphones and the speakers that they have, where they can give direct order sitting in the integrated command and control center to that particular police point where they would like to give that message through that speaker out there. That kind of a micromanagement is being able to be done in a state like Telangana. Whether it is accidents that are happening, and immediately while the accident is there, the camera's noting it, that camera is capturing that data and sending it to the health department. The health department immediately sends it to the hospital which is closest, and within minutes, even before the person calls, the ambulance and other facilities reach the location. So this is the kind of benefits that we can get. And so in order to ensure that the ICCC works in the most efficient and most productive manner and looks at the different models being implemented in different parts of the country, I had a meeting today with the Integrated Command and Control Center team, where Urban Affairs Department, Municipal Department, and our police, the IT and other departments all were here. And we discussed in detail about the functioning of the ICCC till date, how it has benefited the different departments, and more importantly, took suggestions on how we could improve the overall functioning of the department. And a very positive suggestion has come up that in order to make the ICCC even more productive in the long run, we may need to create a kind of a unified command where a director or CEO can be in charge and coordinates the efforts between the different departments that are there. And based on that suggestion, we went ahead with the decision today to create a proper system which will allow the integration of the different departments and allow them to work in proper coordination. And kind of a head will be there that will ensure that proper coordination takes place between the different departments that are there, and also figure out how we can improve and expand the reach of the Integrated Command and Control Center from just happening in Shillong to different parts of the state also, So for example, we would like to see the connections from here being made into major towns like Jowai, Antura, Reboy, Nongstoin, and other critical locations that are there, and having our cameras and different mechanisms of inputs from these locations. MECL, BSNL, and the Deputy Commissioner and other stakeholders. And we have chalked out a strategy and a way forward where we'll bring all stakeholders together, and we will try to see how we could clean up this mess of all the different cables that are there, streamline them, and kind of create a system which is much more organized, remove the cables which are not in use, and discard them, because a large number of the operators mentioned yesterday that actually some of the cables are actually lying there with no use at all, and they'll be very happy to work with us and the administration to get rid of those cables. So that meeting also was held in detail, and we expect that in a few days, from now, we should start the pilot project soon. So certain areas will be taken up in a phase-wise manner. We cannot do the whole city in the limited time that we have before the national games, but the major junctions, the major roads, the major highways, and the main roads that are there, we will take that up, and we will ensure that we're able to remove the cables from the city and at least make the overall look of the city better. We cannot do the power cables yet, because power cables require underduct. That may not happen immediately because that requires huge investment, and also once we do that project, we'll also require the traffic will be affected because it would dig up the roads, create the ducts, and already congested city will become further congested. So we will do that in a second phase, but immediately, as I said, before the games, we would like to see that some of the main sections, main junctions, we are able to organize the wires in a much better manner. So I'm not saying that in 6 months we can do all of it. Please, we have to be realistic. But we will do our best effort to do whatever we can, at least in the main junctions and the main roads that were there. Just give me yesterday's